Hello everyone, welcome to Binary Broom. Today we are taking a look at another article, clean coding. So what really is clean coding? Clean coding emphasizes on writing code that is not only functional, which means it doesn't just does the job. It actually is easy to read, to understand, and to maintain. What does this mean is that when we write a code, we shouldn't just look at that moment just to solve that problem, just for our code to work. We have to think long term, which means we are going to change this code. A lot of people are going to read this code. They're gonna try to make some edits, maybe even reuse our code somewhere else. So we need to write that code in a way that is readable and understandable and easy to edit. It happens a lot to me. For example, when I write a code and it is working, everything is perfect, and it is solving my problem, and everything is good. But when I come back after a week and I take a look at that code, I don't understand anything. I it takes me a lot of time to remember what it is doing and how it is doing it. So it is just for one person and the person who writes the code. Things get even worse when a second person is going to read your code. Because you yourself, as a programmer, know your things, know how to handle stuff, and you have a signature, a way to write your code, and you understand your own code better than others. But when a second person comes and looks at your code, they have no idea how you handle stuff, and they're gonna start from the very beginning and try to understand your code, even uh, if it is totally readable and totally understandable. It is usually hard to understand a code. That's like general, but we have to try to make it easier, and as easy as possible actually, to make it more understandable for others. So that's our introduction. Hopefully you understand now why clean coding is important and what it actually is. So there are a lot of titles related to clean coding, for example, naming the variables, naming the functions, avoiding duplications. I don't know, a lot of stuff like object-oriented programming. We're going to mention a couple of them here, just to understand the basics of the clean coding and how we should actually apply this stuff in our code. The first one is clarity over brevity. We've seen a lot of naming variables like this: I don't know, I, B, and these namings are not terrible, but it is not practical. Like the usual codes, the real codes are not just 4 lines. There are hundreds of lines of code, maybe thousands of lines of code in a single file in a code base. And if you name a variable A, like 50 lines later, you cannot remember what's it's really hard to understand the process, the things that are going on in our function or in our code. So in small codes, it's okay, it's not bad to name values like this, but even in small codes, it is not recommended to have namings like this. It's a lot better to name variables in a way that they are doing, like the name of a variable should actually describe what's inside it and what is being used for. So we have to name the variables in a way that we actually understand what it is. Like when you get an input from, I don't know, a sensor that gives you temperature, you cannot like name the variable A. You should name the variable temperature, so that in the future when you want to use the variable, you know that it is a temperature. Its name is temperature, so inside it, the value inside it is temperature. So it is a lot easier to understand and read your code. The next thing is naming of functions. So the functions should be named in a quite descriptive and purposeful naming. meaning that these names should actually describe what is being done inside the function. And the thing that we were told in university is that the function should do one and only one thing inside it. So if you are naming your function and you are including and inside its name, it means it is doing two different things. So you probably should consider dividing that function into two separate functions and name them just separately. For example, here we have a function that just does a subtraction, and it is named process. So process is quite general, and we cannot understand what is being done inside it. But in a better way of naming, we can just name the function subtract. So that's what it is doing. So we just name it that way, so that when we are using this inside our code, the reader does not have to come inside our function to see what is going on, to understand our code. We named the function in a way that the reader just can understand that this function is doing the subtraction, so I don't need to go inside it. I just move on from the main code. And the other thing that I have here is using Boolean functions for readability. Well, look at this function. The condition is so long and so big and so complicated. And believe me, in real projects, even the conditions are bigger and more complicated. And it's better to put these conditions inside a value, inside a function that returns a Boolean value. And you use that function in your if statement, which helps readability a lot. Like, look at this. We have a function that names can user access our service, and we put that condition that we had up here inside it, and we return the value, so that in the if statement we just use that function. So the return value is actually the value of our statement, but it is a lot easier to read this. You can understand that this function, this if statement, is actually checking the condition that if the user can access our service, that's the condition that is being checked here. Now, if you wanna actually understand that condition, you can go inside that function and look it up. But you don't need to. If you want to just understand the general idea of the code, you can just read from here and don't look inside of this function. Another thing that here needs to be mentioned is that these conditions are not like something that is constant. We may change it in the future. So if we just put them there, we need to reuse the exact condition in somewhere else. And when we want to change this condition, for example, change this 18 to 19, we need to look for this condition all across our code, and we need to edit that in different places, which takes us a lot of effort and energy. So to avoid this, we can just put it inside a function and use that function in different places, so that when we are going to change the condition, we just have to edit just one place, and it is going to be applied all over our code base. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to introduce clean coding and some examples and some titles under it. We are going to get to more stuff about clean coding in the future, like object-oriented programming, reusability, I don't know, maybe design patterns in the future. But the whole idea is that to write a code in a way that's for yourself or for someone else, it is very understandable and easy to maintain and change, so that it is not like a black box. A lot of times when we write a code, it is a black box. We don't actually know what's going on inside it, and we just use it because it solves our problem. And when we want to make a change to it, we just have to toss that black box into trash and start from the very beginning. That happens a lot in a lot of companies, believe me. A lot of programmers write codes that they understand at the moment, but after a while, maybe when they just left the company, other programmers cannot understand what's going on inside. So they just throw that code away and start from the beginning, or they just use that code just because it is solving their problem and they don't actually know what's going on. Okay, that's it. Thanks for your time. If these contents are actually valuable to you and useful, please like the video and also leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe for the future video. We also have Python tutorial or explanations are on sorting algorithm and a lot more to come. Thank you for watching again. Have a nice day and goodbye.